What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my Fighters for Us? I'm One-Eye Bry, also known as PT, and I'm back to talk about The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and is Fear really that bad? Spoiler warning for The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, comic stuff, and really everything connected with The Walking Dead. First and foremost, I want to say that the title, well, the question right there, is Fear really that bad, is just a question. I'm not saying it's really bad, I just want to know your thoughts, and I want you to post your comments about Fear the Walking Dead. It's a discussion video. Now, way back when, we got Fear the Walking Dead. Walking Dead was good. We were like, more Walking Dead, the better. But we got Fear the Walking Dead. And to be honest, there hasn't been anything to fear about this show besides the writing. Well, at times. There's been some good moments, but overall, it's been lacking in my opinion. Now, The Walking Dead to me is the gold standard of the franchise. It's the main show, the main story, the main antagonist, the main source material. And I understand what they were trying to do here. And they were like, we'll start at the start of the zombie apocalypse. Awesome, society's gonna break down, but it never really felt like it was the great origin story like we were supposed to get, like where it came from in a lab, some zombie outbreak. It was like, we got Nick, who's an addict, in a church or wherever he was, and that was the start of it. And he's running down the street. And we're like, okay, maybe it's going to pick up a little bit. We'll see a little bit more. We'll see a little bit more. Like if you watch 28 Days Later, or you watch certain outbreak movies, it gives you the origin of things. We still have not gotten the origin of the zombie outbreak, and that's poor writing. That's terrible. That should be there. There should be a start, an end, and everything in between. And on the Walker Stalker cruise, someone asked Robert Kirkman about the theory of Breaking Bad's blue meth starting the zombie apocalypse on The Walking Dead. And Kirkman was like, sure, I'll be down for that. That sounds great. Well, it's your story, Kirkman. You should have an origin of it. But I guess he doesn't want to put that time in it. So if he's not, why should we? But we love The Walking Dead, and we want to know more and more and more. The story is good. We want to know more how it all started. And I wish Fear covered that a little bit more. And also, we got this person as the lead. I'm not trying to hate on Madison. If you know the channel, you know what it is. And Madison fans, I know. But that's the emotion we get from her. You get supplies, you get that. Someone dies, you get that. And then, is Nick the lead? Is Madison the lead? We didn't have a clear person leading the show, which is never good. If you got two quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. We got to have a person that's running the show, running things, getting done. And the whole family dynamic here of the dysfunctional family in the zombie apocalypse was like, really? That's where we're going with this? It just really wasn't a good idea in my opinion, and it fell flat. So it was a bad idea that didn't work. And then after all the stuff we watched, we're getting a crossover. Seasons 1, 2, and 3, they were all about Fear the Walking Dead standing on its own. And they were like, nah, this ain't working. So let's do something big. And who's the crossover going to be? Because ultimately, a lot of people want Fear to come to The Walking Dead. And maybe it does eventually. But I still think Fear goes to the movies. If anything, it doesn't come to The Walking Dead because they want to stretch it out. You want to have The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, another spin-off, movies. Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, spin-off, movies. Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, spin-off, movies. You see what I'm getting at? They want The Walking Dead all year round. And I do too, but I want good Walking Dead all year round. And then we had the news that it was going to be Morgan coming over. We had a theory, we had some information, we shared it, turned out to be true that Morgan was coming over to Fear the Walking Dead. And that's interesting because you picked Morgan over different characters, but that sets present day Morgan could be connected with the show versus in the past Abraham. But I wish we had Abraham first and then Morgan. But we got Morgan and then Dwight. And it's important to have continuity on the show if it eventually connects with the shows Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead coming together. But Dwight is supposed to be away from Daryl, so he's not going to go back. And is Morgan ever going to go back is the question. Then we got Morgan and Nick. And the crazy thing is that the new characters never met Madison. They met Luciana, Strand, and Alicia, and also Nick for a little bit. But ultimately, Madison was the face. And it's a clear reboot when you get rid of main characters. You kept a couple, but Madison had a lot of fans, and that bothered a lot of people. But like I said before, I wish they brought Abraham over and had the past, back then, and then we saw the Texas connection because Abraham was in Texas. You could have connected there too. And that would have brought a lot of fans over to the show because a lot of people loved Abraham. You could have saw Rosita, Abraham, Eugene, and that group of people connecting The Walking Dead to Fear like that, and then brought Morgan and Dwight over. It just would have been a better way of doing it, in my opinion, if it was possible or not. But again, I'm not a writer on the show, and I'm speaking as a fan what I would like to have seen. We have some characters that I do like. I like Daniel. I like John. I like June. And I like more and more characters as we're getting more and more characters. A lot of characters early on, like Nick, pretty annoying. Travis, kind of a wimp. But Daniel was the guy that made the show for me early on. But the whole non-connecting point from season 3 at the dam to season 4 was like, what? How did they all get there? I got questions. Where are the answers? And when you have questions that a show doesn't answer, it's pretty frustrating, pretty annoying to be like, well, what about that? What about that? What about that person? What about that person? Come on, like that means bad writing, poor continuity, and that's the last thing viewers want to have and fans want to have. If you invest your time in a show, you want it to pay off and you want the information that you want to find out eventually. It can be a slow burn, but give us the answers. And I really hope they do eventually. But how long? It's going to be like season 6 and we're like, all right, we finally found out about season 3. And then, and now, and then, and now, and the ups and downs. And the character continuity is just all over the place. Luciana's strong and then she's weak. Alicia's very strong and then she's very weak. Even in the same season. A lot of people thought the Whispers were coming, but nope. Or something. We need some group to have the group band together and take them out, in my opinion. Now, some people say, why do you have to have a villain? And I mean, you don't, but you do. It just really helps the story. And I do like the newer characters. John, June, Althea. Pretty cool. I just hope that we get some characters' story arcs that make sense and are good for going forward. And I kind of felt like The Walking Dead was as realistic as a zombie apocalypse as possible. And Fear was trying to do that too. And then all of a sudden, they started doing this cheesy, campy stuff. And then having like, Walker Kill of the Week, The Walkies. Is the show supposed to be funny? Or kind of a real gritty zombie apocalypse type of story that you're like, yeah, that makes sense. They would really do that. Or it's supposed to be over the top comedy wise. Like it's a mix of trying to be this and that and they're not sure what it's supposed to be. And then we got this lady. Well, first we got the Vultures, which were like pretty poor saviors. Then we got this lady who was almost laughable as like, what was going on here? How is she getting the upper hand on so many people? And how is she uncapping all these water bottles and really getting the upper hand on so many people? You're like, oh, come on with it, you know? And then the fact that the group doesn't stay in one location for more than half a season. And that really hurts the story. They really need a settlement, a place to be, a ranch. The stadium was great, but again, it only lasted half a season. The boat, half a season. Mexico, half a season. The ranch, half a season. It's just so many places that you're like, come on, just settle down and do something big. The fact that they brought Dwight along was pretty cool because we have a Walking Dead alum coming here. We have the story with Sherry. It's another story arc there too. But again, they're bringing all these little story arcs, the kids, CRM, Sherry, and it's not really panning out in my opinion. So is it really that bad? I don't know. It's a matter of perspective. You got people that love it, people that hate it. But in my opinion, we got way too much cast here. And we're getting more and more and more. We got to thin the herd. There's too much going on here. I like the mall thing. I like the idea of actually going to a mall. But again, that was one episode, one and done. They don't stay in one location for a very long time. I'm not sure if it's a budget thing or a story thing or what. But let's settle down a little bit here and let the story make sense. Morgan being up and down, Alicia being up and down. That's how the show is, up and down. And who wants to see a show that's up and down and all around? But the fact is that this show is connected with The Walking Dead is good and bad. I think it's good because it's connected to the universe, and that's really a main driving factor for me. If it was on Netflix and it was on show, probably wouldn't watch it. And I really hope something big happens with Logan, the oil fields, and wherever the story is going. Something big has to happen to draw people in. To draw me in, at least. I'm going to watch it regardless, just because it's connected with The Walking Dead. But that's a shame. It's like I'm just watching it for the story of the universe. But can you just have something more meaningful connected here? Will we see CRM again? I think that's the best bet to connect the dots with Rick and the movies for the show and the story. You already introduced them in the first half of season 5. Let's make it happen where we have something rewarding because we're still waiting and waiting and waiting. And so I ask again, is fear really that bad? Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. And please, guys, hit that subscribe button to become a valued member of our PT channel, Walking Dead family. Become a PT peep and a Walking Dead family member and help us achieve our goal of 100,000 subscribers. And you can become a Fight For Us fighter by reading the book series. It's on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We got paperback and digital versions, and it's 10 books available right now, but there's going to be more and more story going forward. And remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, staying true to yourself, and tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys. Honestly, thank you.